Oh, it's actually working today.
Alrighty. Let's see here. Let me get my thing going. Alrighty, cool. All right. So, Red Dog, you can give me the countdown, and we'll get ourselves going.
Word. 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are listening to the 3 Count.
Woo!
Woo!
And
Yay.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chaz Evans, and you are listening to the 3 Count. Today is February the 23rd, but when you listen to this, hopefully it's the 24th. So, with that being said, let's introduce my wonderful, wonderful co-host. Start off this time with my little brother, little JJ, also known as Josh, also known as Chaz the Third, also known as my twin, also known as light-skinned Michael Jackson.
Hi everyone. How are you doing?
See, he sounds just like Michael Jackson. On always with us. He's never missed an episode this far. He's has a perfect attendance record. He's the Red Dog, Cliff Red Dog Miller.
And now my catchphrase. That's it. That's my catchphrase.
Okay. All right, cool. And last, but certainly not the least, especially when it comes to his tag team title reigns, for he is the 45-time WCF World Intercontinental African American World Tag Team Champion, Chris Idol.
Thank you. It's actually 46. I won a match down in Rio de Janeiro yesterday. Won another title. It's 46 now.
Wow, 46-time tag team champion. You know, you're one of the greatest champions of all time in wrestling, period.
You know, I try.
You're the GOAT.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You deserve a Hall of Fame induction.
Oh, thank you. Suck it, Jericho.
Well, we're gonna keep on that energy. Suck it, Jericho. We got ourselves a big show, right? Yeah, nice show, nice topic to talk about. Disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, there was an episode that was apparently supposed to air last week. Don't worry, it did happen. It's just I didn't edit it, and it's still sitting in my Google Drive. So with that being said, one day maybe, hopefully, we'll get that up. It might be a lost episode. So you won't miss nothing important. I mean, we only lost control of the show at least about twice. So hey, so
that's what made it so like episodic. Now people are gonna be like, "What is this lost episode you speak of?"
Oh, maybe they will they'll keep listening. So maybe we'll keep it up like that, and we'll hold to it. Say if you stay with us for another year, maybe we'll drop that lost episode. So let's get right onto the show. So our first topic, there's rumor and innuendo going around saying that The Undertaker's opponent for WrestleMania this year has been chosen, and that he hand-picked his opponent. And that person is none other than the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. So with that being on the horizon, WrestleMania coming up, and with AJ claiming to be the new Mr. WrestleMania, is AJ Styles the new Mr. WrestleMania? We'll go with you, Chris, you, Red Dog, and JJ. You'll go after him.
Okay. I don't see why not. His WrestleMania matches that he's had so far, they've been bangers. They've been really good. I can't say that anybody has had better WrestleMania matches consistently than AJ Styles, so I can roll with it. Him as the new Mr. WrestleMania. I could roll with it.
Yeah, I can. No, not at all. AJ's great, and he's had some phenomenal matches. I
see what you did there.
Daniel Bryan, to me, I think had better matches and has consistently had better matches. I would feel like he would be the one I would call.
WrestleMania?
He beat all of Evolution by himself.
That was one WrestleMania.
He got kicked
like what?
By Sheamus. He lost to Kofi. Whatever. He's had, in my opinion, I feel like he's had better matches than AJ Styles. Plus, he's been doing it. He's been in WWE a lot longer than AJ, and he's been more consistent in the WrestleMania field. I get it, right? But I just feel like when I look at AJ Styles matches, they're good. But then I remember this Shinsuke Nakamura match, and I'm like, yeah, that was a thing. And I'm like, not their best work. And especially because a couple pay-per-views later, we saw like their better matches come along. It's just that we know what they did at New Japan, but then we saw what we got at WrestleMania on the largest stage, and we got this C- type match in it. So I mean, if Daniel Bryan wasn't there, would I consider him? Of course I would. But with Daniel Bryan being there, I kind of gotta lean with DB over AJ.
What about you, Josh?
Okay. Entitled to his wrong opinion.
Okay. Here's what I would say. Do I think AJ Styles is the new Mr. WrestleMania? I would say yes and no. I know. You guys are like, well, what's the point of the question then? If you're gonna tiptoe around it?
Every question.
Does this every question? Yes and
no. No.
Let me give my reasoning. You see. Here's why. Here's why it would be a yes. Like Justin has pointed out, he has had consistently good WrestleMania matches. We can agree to that. I know Chaz is going to agree to that because he's an AJ Styles. But anyway. That's
wow, way to put me out there. Like I didn't get a chance to speak yet, and we're already coming at me. First topic of the show, we already coming at Chaz's neck.
Yes,
wow, okay.
we have to come at you. You're the host.
Wow, all right, I see how we're going today. I see, okay.
But yes, he has had consistently good matches. He's had really, really good matches. I disagree with you, Cliff. I did like the Nakamura AJ Styles match. No offense.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
But I enjoyed that match. So yes, I am entitled to my wrong opinion, even though it's fact. But it's okay.
It's true.
Thank you, Justin.
Damn true. Apparently.
But here's why I can also say no. There's only one Mr. WrestleMania. One. And his name is Shawn Michaels. Exactly. Drop the mic. Alrighty. I'm done for the day. Deuces.
Oh wow, he's really walking off. Oh.
It's only the first question.
Right. Jeez. Okay then. Wow. Okay, is AJ Styles the new WrestleMania? Yes, he is. And,
of course, you would say yes.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna get to that.
Your bias is showing.
No. You can't say my bias is showing because who's my number one favorite wrestler of all time? Shawn Michaels.
Joey Ryan.
You wish. You wish that Dick Clipper was my favorite wrestler. You wish. Joey Ryan can go fall on a cliff and break his penis. And I bet you when he does, he'll never get another job again because that's all he's good for is dick flipping. But that's not what we're talking about.
I'd pay to see him scrape his dick on the side of a cliff. I'd pay money to see that.
Anything with Joey Ryan and money? No. No. Is that a Joey Ryan shirt?
Oh. You bought that clip?
I'm legitimately about to kick you off this show. Like, you're 2.5 from getting the pink slip, sir. I don't even know what my point I'm making anymore.
I believe you were saying you agree, AJ Styles?
Yes, thank you. I agree. AJ Styles is the new Mr. WrestleMania. And to your point, Josh, no, it's not my bias because Shawn Michaels will always be my favorite wrestler of all time, no matter what era, what generation, just Shawn, because I do believe Shawn is the greatest of all time. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question. Why was Shawn Mr. WrestleMania in the first place? Why did they give him that title? Because he outperforms everybody on that show. Point blank. Every year. Didn't matter if you put him on first, put him on second, third, fourth, the middle, the last match. Shawn Michaels went out there and stole the show. Yep. WrestleMania 25. You don't remember anything about that WrestleMania except for Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. WrestleMania 26, what do you remember? Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. WrestleMania 23, Shawn Michaels versus John Cena. WrestleMania 20.
That's not fair. Okay, Undertaker Batista happened on that show too.
Thank you. Undertaker and Batista was really good.
Fine.
I'm still upset Batista lost. But
fine. Oh, I mean, hey, you were a kid at that time, so of course you would be. But now when you're older, you understand why he lost.
Yes, but still.
Can't let that streak die, brother.
Well, it did die. Eventually.
We'll talk about that another day. WrestleMania 20. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Chris Benoit.
Who?
Exactly. Shawn, he stole the show no matter what. AJ Styles does that same exact thing. AJ Styles at WrestleMania, if not, puts on a show-stealing performance. You can't tell me anybody on the WWE roster that's either slated to wrestle at WrestleMania this year that can outperform AJ on his bad day. Who, Josh? Who? Don't even make that face. Who can outperform AJ Styles?
Poppy Roman.
Oh, go die. Go die. No, you did not just disrespect AJ Styles like that.
I'm joking. It was a joke. You guys taking it way too seriously.
No, I feel like you was dead serious about that.
Oh, this was my reaction to Chaz. You said Roman, and his first reaction was go die.
That's his bias showing.
Damn.
Anyway. My point exactly. You can't tell me any wrestler in the WWE roster that can outperform AJ Styles on his bad night. I'm not even saying on a good day. On a bad day, who can outperform AJ? So, and I think the Mr. WrestleMania, that little mantra is not necessarily the wins or losses or caliber of the matches. I think it's how that match, holds up to the rest of the card. That moniker, like, did you outperform? Did you put on all that you could give and then some? Because that's what Shawn did. Shawn put out 110% and then said, here's an extra 25 just cuz. AJ put on a phenomenal match with Shane McMahon.
Yeah.
When everybody was out there dogging WWE for that match, and like, oh my God, Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles, they're burying him. But what that match showed that AJ can go out there and put on a clinic with anybody.
Yeah, they stole the show, and that was match one.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So that's why AJ's Mr. WrestleMania. Can't be Shawn. Shawn don't wrestle unless he gets that dirty Saudi money.
Oh, Lord. Money talks.
Right. So unless we get a WrestleMania in Saudi, which I don't think is far off, to be completely honest. But, until then, I think I do believe AJ Styles is the Mr. WrestleMania of today. And if you think otherwise, tell me somebody who is.
I mean, I said Daniel Bryan, so I'm on the other side.
Outside of WrestleMania 30, he has a show.
Yeah.
He had a neck injury, and then he came back, and he had that fire match with. I don't want to say fire. I'm gonna take this back. He had that match with him and Shane McMahon where they took on Miz. Was it Miz right off the bat? I don't remember.
No, see, you don't even remember the match because it didn't steal the show.
Exactly.
Steal the show.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. It was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yeah,
it's my fault.
See, you thought
I remember liking that match for a couple reasons, and they're not going to be of great success to say why. And then another match that he had. God dang it, Daniel Bryan. Well, Daniel Bryan had the match with Kofi Kingston during Kofi Mania. I mean, that was a clinical match that they put on, and it made you hate Daniel Bryan. Because I mean, obviously, all the stacks that happened before it kind of made up to it, or that led up to that match. But that match itself was really good too, and I feel like that match was better than AJ versus Randy last year.
Okay. I'll give you that one. Okay. So that's two matches you got. Two WrestleMania matches of Daniel Bryan's.
So what about WrestleMania 30, where he Randy Orton and Batista.
Well,
and he had to beat Triple H to get into that match.
That doesn't.
It's
great.
It's a great moment.
It was his WrestleMania. Like, the show was centered around him. He opened and closed it.
Yeah.
So
did AJ?
Kind of not fair.
AJ?
AJ wasn't there.
That's not what I said. Has he?
AJ was wrestling Shinsuke Nakamura.
I mean, technically, Shawn Michaels never opened and closed the show either on the same night, but he's Mr. WrestleMania.
Then I'm gonna take Daniel Bryan as my new Mr. WrestleMania.
Daniel Bryan is not Mr. WrestleMania. He can be Mr. SummerSlam, Mr. Survivor Series, but he ain't Mr. WrestleMania.
No, first of all, Mr. Survivor Series is Randy Orton. We all know that.
Yeah.
Twice. I'll let him be SummerSlam. I will let you have Daniel Bryan be Mr. SummerSlam. I'll take that.
Daniel Bryan's Mr. SummerSlam.
All right, cool. So Daniel Bryan's Mr. SummerSlam. Randy Orton's Mr. Survivor Series. AJ Styles is Mr. WrestleMania. And then who's Mr. Royal Rumble? What?
Oh, it would have to be Kane.
I was about to say Kane. Yeah.
I probably would say Drew or Roman.
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 Hey.
Roman.
You can say Kane.
Kane's got the record for most eliminations overall out of everybody.
Now.
You would not mention Drew McIntyre as Mr. Royal Rumble if he had not won this year.
You're right.
So why would you say?
And then if you want to go based on Rumble victories, then it's Stone Cold. He's the only one that's won 3.
But he's not wrestling now. We just named 3 current superstars who we would consider to be in the Big 4. So why would we pick Kane, Mr. Glenn Jacobs, mayor of Knoxville County? Why would
Kane isn't retired.
He's not
on
retired.
hiatus, pal.
He's the mayor.
It is what it is.
Mr. Mayor.
When he gets back into a Royal Rumble match.
All right, fine then. It's Braun Strowman. He's Mr. WrestleMania.
No,
it's Roman.
Since Braun's got the record for most eliminations in a single Rumble. So it's Braun.
I can agree with that one.
He looked amazing against Brock.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic. All right, so why is NXT suffering in the ratings, even though the takeovers are super, super duper good? We'll start with you, Cliff, and then we'll work our way down.
So this has been interesting to me because we we talk about how good NXT is, like all of their takeovers. We have yet to say that there's a bad takeover per se, but it's crazy to me that the takeover events don't reflect in the ratings like the following week or even like the week before or the week after. So we're still seeing like 750,000, close to 800,000 people watching NXT, and then when the takeovers happen, everybody talks about how amazing the takeover event was, and we talk about all the matches. We're like, yo, dude, did you check this match? What about the Portland match with Dijakovic and Keith Lee? That was like the best match, and blah 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 blah. But then like you turn over the next week, and you would expect at least some latent, like some people hanging over, and you would see like at least 900, maybe close to 1 million fans watching, but it doesn't turn out. And I think part of it is because of what Raw does that following Monday. It just kind of like briefly talks about NXT. Like it doesn't even consider it to be like on par with it. And so when you have an event like that happen, fans don't want to tune into NXT. They want to tune into AEW because they want to see what AEW is going to do to respond to what a takeover did, or even what the previous episode did. So I don't know what it is that's not catching fire with the fans for NXT. It's crazy to me to think about. So I think if Portland happens and Raw comes in and talks about, you guys should have seen NXT Portland, it was one of the best regarded events, blah 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 blah, I think fans would then want to go watch NXT to see what happened on Portland, or they would go watch Portland and then come back and watch NXT. I feel like the fans would flock to it if WWE would just treat NXT like they do Raw and make it a premiere show.
All right. You want me to go next?
Go ahead, Josh.
What Cliff said at the end of his argument speaks true. It's the fact that WWE does not at times take NXT as seriously as SmackDown and Raw. And I think that's probably some of the problem. And we still have that mindset that, oh, this is the developmental program. That's the problem. Even though now we can't really consider it a developmental program because it's on a TV network now. But it still lingers in people's minds that, oh, it's just a developmental program. So that's why it doesn't get the ratings that, SmackDown and Raw get because they're more established. And the fact that, they're not seen as the developmental program per se. If you guys are trying to get my drift, that's how I do it.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. It's NXT suffers because they have this. It's the developmental stigma. It's it's the newbies. It's everybody. It's not your John Cena's, your Roman Reigns, your Batistas, and all that. You're getting, I got in a sense, you're getting the leftovers in a sense. If so I think that's another reason why NXT gets, it's always in a sense losing in the ratings. Because let's see, out of the 20, they've gone head to head at least 20 weeks now. And of all-time head-to-head, AEW has won 16 in the ratings, 16 times, whereas NXT has won 3, and then they both have had a tie 1 week. Now, the reason for that being, I also think it's the way the shows are presented. AEW it's more lively. You can, if you look at an AEW show and you go switch to an NXT show, you can tell the difference between each show. AEW looks like it's a legit party. The crowd looks wild. They look enthused. It's lit really well. There's a bunch of different colors. Whereas NXT, they're in this smaller arena. It's really dark. And, I won't necessarily, they're not excited as the AEW crowd is, because I think both fan bases are equally as excited every week for these shows. But I just also believe to the casual fan, I'm gonna go check out AEW because one, it looks cooler because of the color. It's bright. It's in your face, more or less than NXT is the underground fight club. If you get, what I'm trying to say. So I think that's why NXT is suffering because their weekly shows, it looks like a boring wrestling show to the casual fan, and I think that's where that margin, that gap between AEW and NXT really lies, is that NXT is going to draw in their regular fans point blank. That's going to happen no matter what. NXT is going to get the people that they market to, but AEW is going to get more of that casual fan because they're aiming towards the people that necessarily stop watching wrestling. Or when they found out it was fake, oh, I'm not watching it anymore. So I think that's where the disconnect between NXT and TakeOver, because TakeOver is going to produce no matter what. We've seen that, like we said. TakeOver produced. TakeOver sells out arenas, and they're selling out these big arenas. So it's not necessarily much of the wrestling aspect. It's more of I think it's a marketing thing with WWE. I do believe it's a marketing thing. And that's why I think, NXT is suffering in the ratings against AEW. What about you, Mr. Idol?
Yeah, I think it's two things. Basically, NXT has been treated, old habits die hard. Basically, all the way from NXT's creation, from the original show in 2010, all the way up until September of last year, NXT was developmental. It was classified as developmental. It's already ingrained in everyone's brain that it was the developmental brand. And then suddenly, in September, it's third brand. That's not going to pick up right away. It's going to take a few years before it's ingrained in casual WWE fans' mind that NXT is equal to Raw, equal to SmackDown. Just like when SmackDown got created, it took forever for it to be looked at as equal to Raw. Like, for a long time, people looked at SmackDown as less than, too. Like, there was a period of time that people weren't watching SmackDown. They were like, okay, yeah, SmackDown, Raw was where it was at. So it's that, and then AEW being on the same day. AEW is the shiny new toy. The shiny new toy is always going to get attention. I think down the line, the numbers will get closer together. But right now, AEW's new. It's the new kid on the block. It's the cool thing. So I think that's where the issue is. Those two things. Old habits die hard. AEW's the shiny new toy right now.
So what does NXT have to do, or not NXT, but WWE have to do to try to kill that stigma? Because let's be honest. They're trying. With Survivor Series, the Rumble, the Charlotte and Rhea match at Mania is specifically for NXT to get that big buzz. So what else do they have to do? I guess that's, that'd be the next question, to get rid of that developmental stigma. Since that's, I guess,
to be honest,
we all can agree that's the main problem.
Yeah, they just gotta keep doing what they're doing now.
Yeah,
have the main roster guys. Well, look, it's just in my vernacular. Raw and SmackDown main roster, and I don't even mean it. See, old habits die hard, but you gotta have them intermingle more. That's all. That's really it. And like I said, do more of that, and it's just gonna take time. It's gonna take time. People have to get used to NXT being in the same breath as the other two shows, because the other two shows have been around forever. NXT is relatively new compared to Raw, compared to SmackDown. So it's just going to take time.
You've actually just sparked a new debate topic that we might talk about next week. Should WWE have a three-way draft or get rid of the brand split? Because when you're saying intermingle, right, that defeats the purpose of a brand split. Because the brand split is to keep the roster separate, correct? I mean, we're already not doing that anyway with Charlotte and Rhea.
Well, I feel like, okay, so with the brand split, I feel like, I want to say it's okay in NXT, but it's okay in NXT. Because we know that the NXT, we're already accustomed to people coming from NXT to the other shows. So why can't it work, the other way too?
Vice versa.
Yeah. So I don't think that part is a problem. And I'm sure maybe somewhere down the line we will get a scenario like that where people will get drafted to NXT. You might see somebody maybe like AJ Styles going down there when he's ready to like wind things down a little bit more. Put him down there, easy schedule, work with a whole bunch of new people. Big face on the show. So I could see it down the line. Them doing that.
Yeah, I think for me, the number one thing that NXT has to do, and I love this, and it's kind of hard for me to say this, they got to leave Full Sail. Like, unfortunately, that has to be a thing. They got to go on tour. They got to get people excited around the country, because the thing is AEW is still able to maintain their audience. Like, imagine if AEW was just centered in Jacksonville. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same crowd every week. They're seeing it. People eventually will kind of wean off of it because they're going to be like, all right, they're not going to come to my hometown. I'll just keep watching on TV, I guess. But the thing is, when you get NXT to your hometown, you get hyped and you want to go watch it. Because I'll be honest, like, NXT is always going to be exciting to me. But when they were here in Maryland, I hopped. I got up. I got my daughter. We went and watched the episode. We knew it was filmed. We even went back and watched. We waited for that specific episode to come through because we're like, oh my gosh. So we just kept watching NXT every week until that episode came on. And I mean, I still watch NXT now, but it was just that hype factor of just knowing that NXT was in my hometown. And I feel like with the matches they put on, the quality they do, if they go around in different areas, more people are going to want to tune in because they're going to be like, maybe they'll come to my area and I'll get to see them. It's just an idea. I'm not saying like it's a great one, but it's different from what they are right now because the same 300 people are watching NXT live. Why can't we have that? Why can't they travel around to give that appearance of being in a bigger production, to give that same feel that they are a Raw, they are a Dynamite, they are a SmackDown? You know what I mean? Like, you just can't keep doing like the same 300 people and hoping that you're going to get over with them.
Yeah,
but
because
that is NXT loses its uniqueness. The whole hype and cool factor about NXT is it's not like Raw and SmackDown. So if you put it and present it like Raw and SmackDown, at the same time, you take that appeal away from NXT. NXT feels like an exclusive club. Once it looks like Raw, looks like SmackDown, then it's no longer as special anymore.
But then the problem is that shows like Raw and SmackDown on Mondays and Fridays are pulling in 2.5 million viewers versus, 75,000 or 750,000 viewers that NXT is. Like, as much of it is, I do agree that it is a cool kids club because we definitely enjoy watching all of it. You want to bring in more people into that. And the way you're going to do that is if you present the show like you present the other two big shows. You know what I mean?
Right, I agree with that because to the casual person, when you think of WWE, you think of Raw, SmackDown. You think of that, you're thinking of Monday Night Raw, Friday night SmackDown. Yeah. And in order to get that, when someone, they're like, oh, it's another brand of WWE, they're expecting to go in looking for the glitz and glamour that is Raw and SmackDown. So I agree with what Cliff is saying. Because, when you think of WWE, what do you think of? Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown. You don't think NXT. Granted, it's fairly new. So when you have that stigma around you, and that, like, I guess that expectation, when you get something different, it's kind of a, necessarily a letdown, but in some fans, it's a letdown because, let's just say Uncle Joe down the street who hasn't watched wrestling in 20 years is expecting to, he checks out this NXT, all right, and he sees this little, 300-seat arena, this one big old LED screen, and that's about it. And he's like, well, I can see this next month at MCW. No, disrespect to them or anything, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like your basic indie show.
Yeah. And I feel like, and I agree with you, Chris, like you do lose the uniqueness once you like leave Full Sail, right? But the problem though, it does come back to that if you want it to be unique and you only want to pull in 750,000 viewers, cool. Then you're hitting your goal. But we know WWE wants to pull in, 1.5 and 2 million viewers, and keeping it on USA consistently every week isn't going to get the job done, especially on a Wednesday night when you're competing against a show like AEW that does average around, 850 to a million viewers every week. So you're not going to get that audience, especially with that 18 to 34 demographic that WWE is going for. AEW keeps pulling that demographic, and they're only getting stronger at it. So it's like, what do you do then you got to make the show like another big production, because AEW comes out with a big production show and NXT comes out with this like we're this low underground indie world kind of scenario, and only so many people are going to be like, whatever, cool, I'm going to go check out the other show because it's bright, it's well lit, they have great, not that NXT doesn't have great characters, but AEW has great characters, if you kind of feel like where I'm coming from with it.
Don't lie now, Cliff. They ain't got great characters. We ain't gonna sit here and lie now.
I mean,
some okay characters.
Everybody on NXT though, like, I'm gonna get so much flack for this. I don't get paid by AEW for this, but everybody on NXT feels the same.
We're at the Cliff is paid by Tony Khan portion of the show, guys.
Here's a conspiracy theory, but I feel like everybody is the same. Dominic Dijakovic, Keith Lee, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole. They all feel like the same guy, even though they all have like their cool little quirks. They're all the same dudes. Like, we love these guys because they're like the badass like heel, or the cool heel, or the cool bad guy, or the cool good guy, or the cool whatever. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like, and I hate saying that because I love all of their matches, especially watching someone like Velveteen Dream come back. And he's a great worker and he's got a great character. It's like to me, he's really the only different person on the show. If you look at AEW, you do have MJF, who's just a complete dick. You have Cody, who's completely the babyface, the Butcher, the Blade. You have Jericho. You have Jericho in there being like, he's Jericho, like the cool bad guy. You have Sammy, who's the cocky ass dude. I mean, you could look through and see everybody and be like, all right, there's that guy. You have a dinosaur on the show, for Christ's sakes. You mean it's like you see different guys. You could be like that all you want, but I'm only telling you something that is true.
God, you said great characters. That is not great characters. Their characters, okay, they've got different personalities on AEW. They ain't good.
Okay, well they've got more characters.
They got variety.
They have variety. There
we go. There we go. We'll go with that.
I can stomach that one. That one doesn't make me want to upchuck. They have variety. Okay.
Go back to Jim Cornette, okay? He's looking for you.
Goddamn fucking Butcher and fucking fucks. Fuck them. Hate that. God damn it. Sorry.
On the topic of great characters, we're going to move on to our next topic. And with the announcement this past Friday night, even though it was rumored, the newest inductees into the WWE Hall of Fame, the Bella Twins, have...
You can look, but you can't touch.
Yeah, as I'm doing my little my little dance. Yep, that's right, folks. The Bella Twins are going to Canton, but there is no actual Hall of Fame building like they actually do in actual sports. So they're going in the Hall of Fame, guys.
Yay.
As you can
Yes.
You can,
Yes.
You can tell it.
Yes. Yes.
Extremely.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Someone's a Bella fan. As you can expect, it wasn't received well. It was, there was a lot of controversy and criticism. So why not debate it here, guys? Do the Bella twins deserve a Hall of Fame induction? Let's go with you, Cliff.
Oh my god.
Here we go. Let's see if he gets that black card.
No, not at all. I don't think they deserve a Hall of Fame spot. Now, will I say it's okay if we're inducting people like Lita and Jackie or Jacqueline and Trish, and China still hasn't got in, and the Bella Twins are
in.
China's in.
She's in for Dia.
If China is not in the
China's in the Hall of Fame
by herself,
she doesn't deserve it by herself. She didn't do shit.
What she was a
but standing there next to DX.
Real. Tell me what the Bella Twins have done that got them into the
Bella Twins done. Well,
they made WWE.
There's a Total Diva show that helped get focus on women's wrestling. That they pushed for. They held down the goddamn division in the rough years. They bridged the gap. Ask any woman in the locker room. I bet they don't agree with you, Cliff. I bet if you polled every diva or every woman, whoever you
don't call them diva. They're women. They're equal. Sorry.
Listen. Whatever. Were they bridge gappers? Yes, I will give you that. That was something I was gonna bring up. But as
they
far
sold
as
a shit ton of merchandise.
Yeah,
they were mega popular.
God, man, I can't go with it because
successful careers outside of wrestling. They're still making money. They don't have to do indie show appearances.
The way that they made their careers is they slept their way to the top. I said it.
I mean, Brie didn't. Daniel wasn't shit.
Brie Bella did not.
Brie didn't.
Can we remember where Daniel Bryan was in his career when Brie and Nikki all of a sudden like skyrocketed to the top?
Well, technically, Daniel was nowhere. He was teaming with Kane.
Right.
Yeah.
Winning championships. Okay.
With Kane and a tag team.
Kane.
They were wrestling R-Truth and Kofi Kingston on pay-per-view. That's hardly a top spot.
My point being, though, is that, yes, they were bridge gappers. Yes, they had to hold down the Divas division. There was nobody else that really could. And to be honest, like the competition that they were facing against obviously wasn't like the elitists, right? So, I mean, Layla was probably like the closest. I mean, Kelly was there. She, as much as I think she's good, I just couldn't say that she was great. But I think my problem, though, is that when I look back, and I do agree that they are draws, because if it wasn't for that Ronda Rousey Nikki Bella match, they openly acknowledged that they couldn't
I just want you to know that says Natalia.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
like
all
you said, Cliff. Tickets were moving slow for Evolution until they announced Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. Then they sold the place out.
And ticket sales picked up. I think where I stand on this though, man, is like in the first half of their career, it really wasn't shit. But then like towards the back half, yeah, they were name brands, but I just don't think that they were like. I just don't see them at that echelons of being in the Hall of Fame. They were great, and there's going to be a lot of great wrestlers who don't get into the Hall of Fame. But it's just that, to me, when you're comparing a name like the Bella Twins, like Nikki or Brie, versus someone like Trish, it's not on the same level. And I think that we have to at least be on level
apples and
somebody.
Oranges.
Yeah.
That's like comparing Daniel Bryan to Bruno Sammartino. They don't match up career-wise. Bruno sold out Madison Square Garden 1 million times, and Daniel
we've openly acknowledged that Daniel Bryan is going to be a future Hall of Famer. Like, we know that.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a little bit of apples and oranges. Comparing Trish and Lita to the Bellas,
circumstances
were different. It's not really the same thing.
The era was different.
But
I'll give that.
They didn't have the same parameters to work with.
But to Cliff's point, though, he's saying to the Bellas, if you could, you compare them to, Hall of Famers that are already in there, it doesn't match up. Like you're saying, apples and oranges to Bruno Sammartino and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
But you sure as hell know Daniel Bryan's going to that Hall of Fame now.
Yeah. So why shouldn't the Bellas?
Exactly.
I just
why
she sure
they
moved a bunch of merchandise.
They did as much as anybody else to bring women's wrestling along.
I don't know, man.
Justin.
I mean, I get it because of the match that was with AJ.
That timeline, take out the Bellas. I don't even think the women's division would still be a thing in WWE.
Yep.
If the Bellas weren't around, I don't think so. We wouldn't have progressed to the point.
I disagree with that.
We wouldn't have got to the point where we would have had Paige and Sasha, Bayley, Charlotte. We wouldn't have got that far.
I agree.
I definitely, I'll give you that. The Bella Twins were the missing link between like the Trish days and this new era of women's wrestling. They're definitely the bridge. I will give you that. So
why is that not Hall of Fame?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is that not Hall of Fame worthy?
When we talk about people who were real trailblazers, and I don't see Nikki and Bella as a true trailblazer. They were just like the stopgap that just happened to lead into the next one. Because we can acknowledge the 30-second match that gave Divas a chance, hashtag that went wild, and Paige better be in the Hall of Fame if this is going to be the case, and so should AJ Lee should be in the Hall of Fame because they were in that match that sparked this whole revolution. Yeah. It's just that to me, when I look and think about it comparatively to how like the other women that are in, I just don't see them on that same mark. And sorry, I mean, I know it kind of sucks to say that, but I do like them. But unfortunately,
you're a liar.
You're a liar.
I don't believe you.
I do not believe it.
And didn't their last show get canceled anyway? Total Bellas.
Thought it's still on.
Yes,
I don't know.
Yes,
I ain't gonna lie. I never watched Total Bellas. It never interests me. I do watch Total Divas here and there because it's kind of interesting. So I take that, but I never watched Total Bellas. What about you, Josh? Because Cliff and Chris are over here going at each other's throats.
Cliff's over here making me hot today.
That's what I do.
Okay.
Cliff, you're just gasoline to the rest of the crew.
I understand what Malcolm X was saying now. Never got it. I think I get it today.
Did he just? No. You guys are laughing, but I'm not.
I'm just kidding. Cliff knows I love him.
Oh, God.
Chaz, drink some water. You need some water?
So I won't be making that WCF show next month. You're going to stay at home with the title.
Oh, that's what you're doing?
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Oh, okay. Let's get to...
Go ahead, Josh.
Okay. We're done with the Malcolm X. Okay. All right. We're done with that. The Bellas are Hall of Fame worthy as they are, but here's the thing. I don't think they should have been inducted this early. I think they should have waited maybe probably like 3 to 5 more years before they actually maybe like 3 to 5 more years before they actually like put them in there, because they're still like the salt in the fans, you know. They have a stigma to hate the Bellas, you know, because at the time, like I think 2014, 15, they were dating the 2 top guys in the company. Or
Bree knocked out Liv Morgan live on Raw. That's why people don't like her.
Brie just said she was tired of all these blondes on the show. That's all.
There you go.
I can understand that.
I get
a little tired. All these blondes you had to keep putting over.
Remember, the next week Liv dyed her pink. So, yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah, see? And now Liv is doing fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Well, she's on the show, isn't she?
Fire.
Yeah. Anyway, back to my point. I think that they should have waited, but also I feel like part of me feels like their Hall of Fame induction is more like a publicity stunt because we're trying to get ready for this new season where Nikki and Brie are both pregnant and they're twins and they're having babies. So why don't we push them in the Hall of Fame so their other show could get more of a push as well? They definitely did it for that. Oh, yeah. But I do think that they do deserve it for what they've done. I'm not saying that they were the best wrestlers for the women ever. No. We can all agree that they were not. I mean, in the later half they got better. Yeah, we can agree that they did get better. But I do think that they do deserve it. But it's I don't think right now was the right time, and it feels more like they're trying to capture on the publicity of, oh my God, both of the twins are pregnant. And if you watch Total Divas, you know that Nikki was trying to get knocked up by Cena, but Cena had the ultimate heel turn and was like, no, I don't want no kids. I don't want marriage. But then they
Yes, go ahead and mention that ruined WrestleMania moment that she did.
Yeah.
Go ahead and mention it.
That's a debate topic all on its own.
He proposed at WrestleMania, and it's like, he did it. They're finally gonna get married, and then you're just like,
embarrassed my man's like that.
It's like, you know, MVP
out there on live television, on pay-per-view, millions watching,
on the biggest event.
That's enough to keep her out of the Hall of Fame. I'm just gonna put that out there.
That's honestly why I'm surprised she's going in. To be completely honest, if I was Vince McMahon, if she ruined one of my biggest WrestleMania moments on my company's, I wouldn't. Oh no, we'll induct your sister first before we induct you.
All right, yeah. But I'll save my Nikki Bella tirade for another episode.
Yeah. Go ahead, John. Go ahead, JJ.
But it's like I do think they deserve it, and it's like their name, that the names they built did help the women's revolution. It did help, even though I do think that they get too much of the credit when I think it should be like AJ and Paige. They should get more credit, even though we know why AJ's not going to get any credit. Really, because,
Yeah, she has a husband that's
she has a husband
bitter.
that's
bitter.
That's kind of a jerk.
He's bitter.
But I think also people don't like that they are oversaturated the Bellas, and they also tried with the Bellas to erase what AJ Lee did, and I think that's why there's a lot of hate for the Bellas per se. But I do think that they do deserve it. But as I'm trying to say, I don't think they deserve it right now. I think there should be a little bit more of a wait. And it doesn't feel like, actual inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's more like a publicity stunt. And we already know that the Bellas are the Kardashians of WWE.
Well, yeah, John Laurinaitis married their mother.
Yeah.
Let's just put that in. John Laurinaitis married the Bella's mother. But yeah. Do I think they deserve it? Yes, I do think they deserve it to a certain extent. Yes, they did do a lot. They gave that mainstream and clout for the WWE for the women.
Clout.
They that bridge between, like you said, Cliff, the Trish era to the Charlottes and the Paiges and all that today. They were that gap. Do I think they deserve it now? No.
Thank you.
The Bellas, they just had a match what? No less than a year and a half ago. Wasn't Nikki Bella's last match at Evolution?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That was almost a year, almost 2 years ago?
It was a year and some change.
That's the encyclopedia. Ask Justin.
So, a year and some change after your last match, you get inducted in the Hall of Fame. I don't know if anybody knows offhand as far as other sports, but in other sports, after your retirement, there is a waiting. Is it 5 years?
NFL's 5.
NFL, you have to wait 5 years before you get inducted into the Hall of Fame. 5 years.
For you even eligible.
Eligible. Because you have to get voted for other Hall of Fame. There's a voting process.
Peyton's going in next year, though.
Peyton Manning, how long has he been out the league, Josh? You're the football guy.
It's now. This would be his first year for eligibility. We already know he's first ballot Hall of Famer. So he's going in this year.
How many years has he not been playing
since
football?
2015, 2016.
We're talking 5 years. Now we're just talking about Peyton Manning, who's arguably one of the best quarterbacks.
He is the GOAT. Sorry.
I'm a
Peyton rider.
Give or take. So with that being said, it's that's when you start questioning, all right, then if the Bellas got in after a year and a half of being out, why didn't British Bulldog get in? Why, I
always felt iffy about that. The retire 1 year, next year you get in. Because they did it with Edge.
Right, they did it with Edge.
Shawn.
With Shawn. All of them.
Sting.
So it's like Sting. Exactly.
Sting.
So
I always felt
But Shawn and Edge though.
But I feel like you said, I feel like there should be a waiting. I feel like there should be some time in between the retirement
3 years
and your induction. 3 is a good year.
2 to 3 years.
That's a good year.
I give it 3. I'm down with 3. It's just that
3.
When I look at Batista and his last match was just at WrestleMania last year.
Go.
Oh yeah,
It's just too soon. It just seems too soon. Yeah.
Yeah,
like you were just selling Batista merch last year for his return match. Like I just believe. I think we probably would not be. We probably would still have to be whether or not if they deserved it or not. But I think the Bellas wouldn't have gotten a lot of flack if they would have waited to put them in. Now I agree with you, Josh, on the fact that did they try to capital off, the Bella's pregnancy and them being, their due dates only 2 weeks apart, and Nikki's finally getting married, and the new season of Total Bellas. Yes, I do agree that has to put, that has something to do with them being put in so soon. But it diminishes your Hall of Fame. Now, the WWE Hall of Fame isn't a serious Hall of Fame. I mean, for Christ's sake, Drew Carey's in there.
Donald Trump.
Hey, chill. That was a great Royal Rumble moment.
Okay, whatever. Great Royal moment. Drew Carey's in there, not a wrestler. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, is in the WWE Hall of Fame, not a wrestler.
He broke a box office record for them.
Yes, he did. Tell him.
But granted,
he has his merit.
Those two that you just named are in the celebrity wing. They're not in the actual
That is true. That's
all. Yeah, even because Mike Tyson is in the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I don't think Mike Tyson goes in there. What did Mike Tyson do?
WrestleMania
Shawn Michaels
wouldn't have done the business it did without Tyson.
Okay, well when you put but
that's what I'm
the WWE Hall of Fame.
But that's a
significant
contribution to it. Mike Tyson's involvement in WrestleMania 14 is what helped get eyes on Austin in the mainstream eye to help launch WWE.
I want Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless in the NFL and NBA Hall of Fame for their contributions.
The Battle of the Billionaires broke a WrestleMania record for them. That was the highest grossing WrestleMania until Rock versus Cena.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
you made so that's the encyclopedia.
I didn't know that one. Learn something new, guys.
All right, Drew Carey. All right, I'll give you that one. Okay, he didn't have to go in. It was a funny moment at the Royal Rumble, but I mean, I wouldn't have been hurt if they didn't put Drew Carey in the celebrity wing.
Isn't Pete Rose in
Pete
the
Rose,
celebrity wing.
okay, he got
Yes.
Tombstone like 3 years in a row. That was great. That was a running WrestleMania joke. Is Kane gonna kill Pete Rose this year?
But my point being that I think that the Bellas should have waited. I think if they would have waited to put them in, give or take, like you said, 3 years, I don't think there'd be so much flack because they do deserve it. They do. They did a lot. I wouldn't necessarily, as far as a wrestling standpoint, like titles,
just
and
a cultural standpoint,
and yes, like 5-star match quality. No, they won so many worst feud and worst book matches, and like the Wrestling Observer that they shouldn't even be even wrestlers for the amount of worst things they've won. But the cultural the cultural impact that they had on the women's division, I think gives them enough merit to go in the Hall of Fame. I just don't believe they should have been in it in 2020. 2023. I would have felt a little better if they waited till next year because Mania is in LA. I would have waited. I mean,
okay. I can
accept
that. I
that.
just think, like you said, this year, it just feels too soon. Because it's like, dag, you're going in the Hall of Fame? You just left.
You know what?
Weren't they just
already?
on Total Divas talking about, hey, let's do this comeback. Let's go win the tag belts. Like they were just talking about returning, not too long ago. So that's my standpoint on the Bellas. I think they deserve it, yes, but it's too soon.
I was going to say, I agree with you. Culturally, they made a huge impact on wrestling. As far as wrestling matches go, it wasn't that much of a shift. However, I will say I do like the idea of them being inducted in Tampa, and here's why. Nikki at some point is going to make this remark, and she's going to be like, I dated one of the greatest superstars of all time, and now I can't see him, and he can't see me while I'm in the Hall of Fame. And just like, just turn that.
They wouldn't.
I hope
they wouldn't let
says
that.
It.
Yeah.
Her and Cena are still cool. I hope they work that out so she can get that line.
That's the ultimate.
Get the last heel. The last.
Just that little
That would be good though. I wouldn't lie.
As much as all them producers looked at their speeches before the Hall of Fame, I don't even think no, Cena got pulled, so he might, if he did, never mind, I'll take it back. It could happen. It could. So let's move on, guys. So we got the best and my favorite segment of all wrestling podcasts. It is the Red Dogs Power Rankings.
Whoop whoop! Yeah, let's go. So where did we leave off? Did we leave February 9th? Did we do that?
Yes, we did. That one. Okay. Yeah, we did do that one.
So let's talk about February 16th. Last week it would have been. So this will also go on our ghost episode.
Yep, the ghost episode. Yeah, that's what we're calling it now, the ghost episode.
So we're gonna start off with number 10, Miss Dakota Kai. She had an amazing match. We thought that was great. Number 9, Mr. MJF. Number 8, your new women's champion at AEW, Nyla Rose. Followed by Lio Rush. Number 6, we have Finn Balor. This was his match with Johnny Gargano that kind of helped put him over because NXT was on fire with Portland. It was amazing. Moving up, Adam Cole, baby. Then we got number 4, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page himself. Number 3, your new NXT Tag Team Champions, the Broserweights. Then we're going to go number 2, Miss Becky Lynch. Obviously makes our list. And number 1, I mentioned this match earlier. This was, to me, I'm still going to set this as the bar. Keith Lee. Keith Lee's match at Portland
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you. Thank you.
It was a great match. I don't
Thank
care.
you. Thank
So,
you.
we're gonna move up to this week. This is the first time that these guys have actually heard my top 10. Last week I kept feeding you guys who I thought was gonna be in the top 10 and just moving people around. So here we go. Number 10, the New Day and the Usos. Their match on SmackDown I thought was pretty good. I thought it was deserving of a spot. It's the only time you'll hear SmackDown for this list.
Because SmackDown sucks.
SmackDown, yeah, it did suck. Number 9, we had the Grizzled Young Veterans. I felt like their NXT match was decent, kind of predictable. Number 8, we have the Broserweights. Moving up, Monday Night Raw, we had Angel Garza and Bobby Lashley make the list. Number 6, I feel like I put him on the list every week, so it goes without saying, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. I thought they had a great match as well. Moving up, number 5, I didn't put him on here just because of this, but Jon Moxley, with that match with Jeff Cobb, if I could, I would have put him on here too because he did an amazing job too. I thought this match was great. Number 4, this is going to be one, I don't know how you guys are going to take this. PJ and Luke Hawx from NWA's The Circled Square. They were the new team. They just tagged in. A lot of people know PJ Hawx because he's the kid that jumped off the second story at the mall into the wrestling ring. And so, like, I saw him. He was on the show. It's the first father-son, like, wrestling duo, that wrestling tag team that I've ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen a team presented that way, so I thought they should be included on this list. Number 3, this was another great match, so I definitely had to include this. Jordan Devlin, the Irish Ace, is definitely going to be on this list. Number 2, we have the Young Bucks because of their great the great tag team Royal, and the fact that Sammy Guevara got killed by Matt Jackson, just murdered him. And number 1,
that super kick though. That super kick was literally on point.
It was so great. Did you see there was a poll, actually, I don't remember who shared it, but they were asking Shawn Michaels and Shelton Benjamin or Sammy Guevara and Matt Jackson who had the better super kick.
Ooh,
I was like,
wow.
Oh, but Sammy's sell.
Yeah, I think
the HBK. I mean, it was innovative. The Bucks is just a copycat spot. Well, when Shawn did it, it had never been done before.
Oh yeah.
And they did on Dynamite. Well, we had already seen it. Right. It was still cool. Don't get me wrong, but I mean that's just my opinion. Can't beat the original.
You're right.
The original was also the finish. Just want to point that out.
Number 1, Aleister Black. That match that he had with Rowan was fire, and it set the table for me for the rest of the week. So I couldn't find another match that could compare up to it, so that's why Black gets it here. But in the same token, it also brings up my question. Now that we've crushed Rowan, what's next for Eric? You know what I mean?
We find out what's in the damn cage. We find out that his dildo is in the cage, and that's what he keeps bringing out to the ring. Because
it was the ghost of Luke Harper.
I thought it was too, but it's not. Because guess what? Even if that was it, I wouldn't give a fuck. And excuse my French on the podcast, because I am honestly tired of it. I cannot stand it. For what is it, season 4 now of what's in Eric Rowan's bag? Stupid. Stupid.
I still wonder what's in it.
All right, when you find out it's a bag of dildos, you're gonna be highly upset.
I just want to know why does he have one that has teeth on it?
Just for the wild factor.
Yes.
Because then I feel like the following storyline why does Rowan carry this to the ring?
Yes.
And why did it? And how did he get bit by it?
Twice.
Twice. I feel like that's now a new mystery
storyline. There we go.
What's up with the bag of dildos?
What does he have?
The next 8 weeks to find out.
I'm severely mad if I find out it's like a bunch of chattering teeth with razor blades on the end, and that's what cut him.
I'd rather stick needles in my eyes. Like, really, that's honestly what I would rather do than watch anything that deals with his stupid bag of dildos. But that's just me, and who am I? Who am I, guys? I'm a nobody.
A black guy on a podcast.
Exactly. A black guy with a podcast about wrestling. Talking about wrestling. So we're gonna move on to our, the final segment, and that's WWE Super Showdown. Coming to you all the way from the beautiful city of Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is a country.
It's a country.
That is the city.
Same
really said a
thing.
This man really just said a city.
So we're going to go down the line and we're going to play our favorite game. Let's pass the pencil. So we're going to go down the list of the card and we're going to do how we would book it. Pretty much as our predictions, because that's how we would book it. Because somebody asked me that, well, if it's not a prediction, it's how you would book it. I'm like, well, our prediction is how we would book it, idiot. That person who said that knows who I'm talking about. So when you listen to this podcast, screw you. So let's start off, guys. The New Day, Big E and Kofi Kingston versus The Miz and John Morrison for the tag team championships of the SmackDown brand. JJ, if you had the pencil, who's going over?
Wait, say it again? I'm totally not paying attention.
Jeez, guy, what are you just zoning out?
I'm sorry, I'm doing
Good
work.
gracious. So,
I was doing work.
It's the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, New Day, Miz and Morrison. Who's winning?
Miz Morrison.
You got Miz and Morrison. Cliff, who you got?
Sorry.
I got Miz and Morrison.
Chris Idol, who you got?
Miz and Morrison.
So do I. Let's keep going. I kind of had a feeling we all were going to go Miz and Morrison. So
is it really, it's kind of obvious.
I want to say
it's kind of obvious, bro.
No, it's not.
Yes.
It's the New Day.
That is.
I love the New Day. So
Yeah, it's the New Day. I don't. Yeah,
they are the Roman Reigns of the tag team division.
Exactly.
Get that shuffle.
I don't normally bet against the New Day. Honestly, I don't normally bet against the New Day. I don't. It's the New Day. So, but I got Miz and Morrison.
Never bet against Charlotte though.
You got right about that because she's definitely gonna whip Bianca's ass this week. But
I know. Sadly, I love Bianca. I love Bianca.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We got the SmackDown Women's Championship. The role model, Bayley versus Feel the Glow, Naomi. If you had the pencil, Chris Idol, who's going over?
I'm going to say Bayley.
Okay. What about you, JJ?
Part of me wants to say Bayley, but then it's like it's February and I'm feeling the glow, So Naomi, I'll go with Naomi, even though I know that's probably not going to happen. But I'm going with Naomi. Black Power.
Red Dog.
First of all, JJ can never say that again because he just said that Charlotte is going to bury Bianca Belair on Black History Month and then put over Naomi. It is weird for the white guy to say that. I also have Bayley.
It's Charlotte, but it's Charlotte. There's a difference. It's Charlotte.
Charlotte
Charlotte is
supersedes
above everybody.
race.
There you
Charlotte
go.
is her own race.
Race. She's
The
a race
players
of
are their own
royalty.
race. You have black, white, Asian, Pacific Islander, flares.
I just fell out my chair.
Not David though. David's white. Just Charlotte and Rick.
We're not
We'll
doing
get
the
back
David Flair thing again. We're not doing it again. We're not doing that again. Oh, Red Dog, did you say who you had?
I got Bailey.
He said Bailey.
Okay. All right. King Corbin and Roman Reigns in a steel cage match, because that's all Roman does in Jeddah is steel cage. Match.
Do you want me to start off? Can I start off?
Yes, you can start off.
Poppy Roman, and here's why.
Oh, okay.
Here's why. Baron Corbin is literally the whipping dog. He's the person that everybody gets, that Roman just beats up on. Look, Justin, Chris Idol's laughing. He knows it's true. It's basically his punching bag, and I hope it's over in a minute. I hope so. I know it's not gonna happen, but yeah. Just give him 3 Superman punches, a spear, and call it a day.
Wow.
1, 2, 3. You know what I do? Get the settings, put infinite finishers on Roman. There you go.
And this is why people don't like 2K20. What about you, Mr. Idol?
I'm going with Roman Reigns.
Red Dog?
If Baron wins by any chance, I'm going to have the shocked Undertaker face. The shocked Undertaker guy face. I'm gonna have that face. Like,
there's no way Corbin wins. I'm sorry.
Red Dog, who you got going over?
With that being said, I'm taking Baron Corbin.
Oh,
Yes.
come on.
So am I.
Come on.
I gotta go with Corbin too.
What?
I gotta go with
Guys.
Corbin.
Guys.
We still
Let's
have
think
the Elimination
rational.
Chamber coming up.
He's gonna beat him in the Olympic.
That's fine, but
Yeah.
Baron's
Beat him.
gonna win. And
No.
Saudi Arabia.
No.
Baron Corbin can get the dub in Saudi Arabia, while Roman can get the dub in Elimination Chamber.
There's three things in life,
Reigns.
Guys, there's 3 things in life. You pay taxes, you die, and Baron Corbin gets buried by Roman. Come on.
Exactly.
Come on.
Yeah, he was really getting buried by Roman when he's pouring all that dog food on him.
Exactly.
So
So
it amount to wins. No.
it doesn't. So we're gonna move on over to Raw, and for the Raw side of things, we have the gauntlet match for the Tuka trophy. AJ Styles versus Andrade versus Bobby Lashley versus Bag of Dicks versus R-Truth versus Rusev. If I had the pencil, I got AJ Styles.
AJ Styles.
Would you pick Bag of Dicks to go over?
Yes.
He might use the dildos. That's the finish.
There you go.
They'll
He's gonna use
it.
what's in it. He's gonna use it in the bag. And he's gonna go over. There you go. That's how we book it. That's my prediction.
Alrighty then. So we got JJ's prediction. All right, Red Dog, who you got?
Okay, because this show is in Saudi Arabia and a lot of these shows there are a bunch of jokes, I'm going to take R-Truth.
That's not when you put that reasoning, that's not a bad reasoning.
R-Truth's my next pick
said
anyway.
Because this show is going to be in Saudi Arabia, that's not where I thought you were going with it. I thought you were going to say, like, R-Truth got injured and they put Mansoor in it. He won the match.
Oh, man. That would have been number 1 pick. You can't pick against Mansoor in Saudi Arabia.
That's facts.
Yeah.
That man got the true home field advantage.
He won a 51-man battle royale. Like, you can't pick against him. He beat Cesaro.
Anyway, who you got, Idol?
I'm going with AJ.
Alrighty, next we have the Raw Tag Team Championships. And we have the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. I'm not sorry, just Murphy. Versus the Street Profits. Red Dog, if you had the pencil, who's going over?
I'm thinking of Monday Night Messiah and Murphy over Street Profits.
Idol?
Yeah. I'm going with the Rollins congregation.
Yeah.
JJ? Oh.
I'm gonna be different. Street Profits going over. Book it, Vince. Book it. There you go.
Throw him out, man.
Right, like, yeah. I'm going with the Monday Night Messiah and
you guys are just a bunch of followers.
And his disciple Paul. Yes,
you guys are just a bunch of followers.
We are.
I'm not gonna lie.
Profits win.
That sermon was
I'm
hot.
okay. Yeah, I'm okay with. I'm the Judas of his congregation. Like, I'm okay with that.
I'm waiting to see who's going to be the Judas of the group when they get to that point.
It's Becky.
Yeah, it is Jericho. So now we're gonna go to the wow, what's the next match? Oh, here we go. The WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar versus
It's great. It's great audio content, by the way, for all those who are listening. You guys have no idea, but JJ was just shaking his head. You guys could probably find that on the 3 Count Instagram, that video.
I can't even say this out loud with a serious face.
Go ahead. The Beast Incarnate.
Brock.
21-1. The Conqueror. Brock Lesnar is defending his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against
Ricochet.
Yo, I didn't know JJ snores.
Can we just skip this one? I think we all know the answer.
Yep.
And it ain't a prediction, it's a spoiler.
Alrighty, so next match.
Are we not really gonna do our prediction?
We don't even need to waste our time. We all know how that's happening.
Yep, we definitely do.
Oh my god, I'm having
But,
a heart attack.
Yeah. Nah. No chance.
No chance.
Okay, so we're gonna have the Universal Championship match, and that is The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Goldberg. Goldberg.
I gotta get my
Goldberg.
Oldberg.
Oldberg. We know who you're picking.
Oldberg.
If you had the pencil, all right, JJ, who you picking?
Hold on, I'm too busy digging up Oldberg's grave. Hold on, I'll be right back. What did you guys say? What did you guys say?
Who's going over? Goldberg or The Fiend?
Who's squashing who?
All right, here it is. The Fiend. Let him in. Let him in.
All right, Red Dog, who you got? Because this man JJ is gonna keep going on and on. Y'all know how he is.
Let him in.
Okay, so I've heard 2 different scenarios for what could happen afterwards. Personally, myself, my prediction and pen to paper, I take the Fiend.
Okay. Idol?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Fiend. That's where I'm going.
All right, now I guess I have to be the odd one.
Yes! Yowie wowie!
You're picking Bill?
I am going to go with Goldberg. I do not personally.
Skill. Skill.
I personally do not want to see The Fiend versus Roman Reigns.
Skill.
WrestleMania. And if the rumors are true and if they are deciding to go this route, I would rather see Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. So, with that being said, I got Goldberg going over, beating The Fiend.
Skill.
And then him facing Roman at WrestleMania. I think at that point, it's like, what would you rather see?
I would rather see two newer superstars going at it versus the master of the spears. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Like
the master of using infinite finishers. That's what Goldberg does.
He's an attraction. He doesn't need to put on a 5-star match.
That is true.
But he has to at least put on a 5-minute match.
Yeah, at least put on 5 minutes.
His match with Brock Lesnar.
5-minute matches are hot.
I'm about to say his 5-minute match with Brock at WrestleMania was amazing.
That was great.
Exactly. So let's not do that. Let's not disrespect Goldberg like he's like
favorite match under 5 minutes. It's that one, hands down.
Let's not do Goldberg like
spears,
Goldberg
jackhammers, and suplexes.
I will say this though. Roman will probably get booed out the building if he beats The Fiend at WrestleMania, but he wouldn't get booed out the building beating Goldberg. I will say that.
You don't think so?
He'll still get booed. It's Roman.
I mean, Roman's going to get boos regardless, but I think he would get booed less by beating Goldberg than he would by beating The Fiend.
He's probably going to beat The Fiend. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I mean, he's winning at WrestleMania. He's winning the Universal title. I just think there'd be less blowback if he won it from Goldberg than if he did from winning it from The Fiend.
He's going to win it from The Fiend.
That's just how I feel.
I mean, yeah, I see that. I definitely agree with that. You would definitely get booed less because of how hot The Fiend is versus Goldberg. Like, I definitely agree with that.
Like, from a match perspective, I probably would want to see Roman versus The Fiend more, but I think it would be better for Roman and his momentum if he beat Goldberg.
Yeah, because if they do Roman and The Fiend, it's going to be Royal Rumble all over again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and they've been doing so good with Roman.
Yes, exactly.
It would be a shame for them to get that far
and just
to be
throwing
back
it.
Square one. Yeah.
Oh, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But then that's a good way to end off this episode. I think we
Team Ricochet.
Team Rick. Wow.
Yeah,
Team Ricochet.
I just want y'all to know. I just hope.
I already got that shovel ready for him.
I just hope there's a chance that Ricochet does win and he can shut everybody up.
Yeah.
We'd be real quiet. The WWE universe would be real quiet
we'd be like,
if he beat Brock Lesnar. They real quiet.
It would be Brock Lesnar, Undertaker all over again.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I would do? Just
about the list of people who beat Brock Lesnar recently. You'd be like John Cena, Triple H, Ricochet. One of those things doesn't really belong in that list. Seth.
Right. List of people that have, like you said, beaten Lesnar during his second WWE run. John Cena, Triple H, Goldberg,
Seth
Rollins, Roman Reigns,
Ricochet.
I'm not gonna leave my uncle alone. Here's the thing. Funny story, and then we'll end it off here. So I think would be a funny thing they could do. They have Ricochet go over at Saudi, right? But the next night, so that's SmackDown. So it wouldn't be SmackDown. So Raw. Brock comes out pissed off. He says, Ricochet, you put that belt on the line. Brock will wrestle on Raw for the first time in 25 years. And Brock wins on Raw. Gets the title back. Still faces Drew at WrestleMania. I think that'd be the biggest.
Is a Heyman swerve. That's a Heyman swerve right there.
Exactly. So that'd be cool, but hey, that's me if I was booking it.
Nah, you make Ricochet defend it at Elimination Chamber.
Inside Elimination Chamber with just Lesnar.
Lesnar.
Put him in there.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you if you made it this far through this episode for listening to the 3 Count. I'm Chaz Evans, your host. I'll be back next week. I promise I will be. I got my co-host Cliff Red Dog Miller, little JJ, Chris Idol here, giving you all have a happy, awesome day. Drink more water, eat your vitamins, say your prayers. Also, SmackDown is ass.
Oh, I thought it was great. I'm joking.